To the abyss, my friends, in good spirit, sit with me next to a fire, under this starlit sky, in this forest a distance away from any light pollution, and the shared company of the evening's stillness, you and I, in our shared burden, that is, the human experiences, be we not in good company indeed? My canine friend perhaps joins us, just as gleeful as a dog deserves to be. As a being bound by nature separate from our own, we are left to contemplate what it is that governs them. None the less, this pup is happy to see you. He does not worry about tomorrow, he is not concerned with who is going to be president tomorrow, nor does he ever need to worry about taxes. In that, perhaps my dog had wisdom to impart. As you look into his eyes, you sense this being, unconcerned, content. We could only aspire to be so endowed at times. But when compared with my eyes, from across the fire, you notice something a little more unnerving in comparison: the human stare. It hits closer to home than the dog's, it's more familiar, arouses more awareness. Recognizably, something that stood outside the dog's, if only to the extent man and dog could communicate with each other as it already were. And then I'd like to direct your gaze to the stars above us on this night, and ponder how in the context of the universe, that which we are recognizing is something that perhaps takes many forms, is defined by different natures, here on earth, let alone throughout the cosmos. And ourselves, but the individual manifestations of one of those natures, sentience in domains of life, like that found within the woods we are surrounded by, perhaps not as recognizable, but all the same, present in diversity, as clear as day. And in that knowledge, humble yourself before this thing called sentience, for there are those who call themselves its master, while negating it completely. Insert, to what degree the humans succeeded in seeing that negation of the psychological being, the random being in its mind forms, being once again a question of their often selective and thus misguided interpretations of the nature, the nature of sentience, the reference frame that it at any moment gauged it with when colonizers called people children of a lesser god. And to what degrees people could, as imperfect, unpredictable, relative beings, coincide with that frame put before them by God's kings and men, so that their value as beings could be merely accounted for, with no concept of that humans were doomed to ignorance of each other.